Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair. Calm down and get your teeth again at the Sci-Fi Center. We got almost everything a geek could want at the Sci-Fi Center. You name it, we got it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and everything in between at the Sci-Fi Center.
Happy Wednesday. Fuck the rain. Fuck the rain. Fuck the rain. It has been an absolutely fucking horrendous last 32 hours or so here in sunny Las Vegas, the desert. I repeat, the desert. I want you to Google the word desert. I want you to Google the word arid. I want you to Google what Las Vegas is supposed to look and feel like. And it ain't what it's been in the last 30 some odd hours. Woo! I'm sorry to open up with this, but this really fucked up my day on all levels. From maybe 10:30 the Tuesday morning to about 3, it was like I was looking for the USS Minnow to come floating down in front of the Sci-Fi Center. That's how bad it was, and it just wouldn't stop. And just like Saturday, all day long. I did not need that. My tourist geeks don't want that. My tourist geeks look out the window and said, nah, we're staying here. Oh, why am I getting a message in the middle of the night? Hold on, this could be important. So let me look. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, just lots of fun, lots of wet fun, just total disaster. Today wasn't as bad as Saturday, simply because if you guys know this, for the center of the weekend it's a tourist business. The weekend is the biggest days, and it raining all Saturday really screwed me up. But it raining all day today made it to where I spent the majority of my time up on the roof dealing with the roofers, trying to. They are at their wits' end. A lot of it is going to have to be contracted out, mainly because the building I am in was designed for the desert and not Portlandia. So the entire thing is going to be replaced. They tried, and I'll give them credit. I'll give the landlord credit. This time around, they were up there with their torch. They were up there trying to fix it, and we just couldn't get it done. Buckets upon buckets came through. But you know what? I had the buckets there because I'm traumatized. I have a business that's about 70% paper. So I got to be ready for this shit like this. So, listen, I'm sorry about the people here in Vegas who are, the drought. What about I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Right? We're above our average of rain. That's never a good thing for me. So, yeah, I've been in a foul mood all day. There's not enough caffeine to really set the day straight, even though I'm going to give that a try. The good news is it looks like we're done for it for the most part. We got some coming in Thursday or Friday, but it's scattered and widespread. I can take the drizzle. I can take the showers. I can't take the deluge. My store can't take the deluge. My customers don't want to swim to me. And a lot of there's conventions in town. We got the NASCAR. A lot of people are in town for not NASCAR, the Formula One, whatever it is. We got a lot of people, not the actual people that are going to that because they're all like super rich billionaires and whatever, but a lot of the people who are working on it, a lot of the people who are doing expos and stuff for it. Since we've had this Formula One thing, I've gotten them, but the convention center is literally within walking distance of the Sci-Fi Center. You can literally come there on a lunch break if you want to. Not today, not yesterday. And I don't want you risking your life to get to me. Listen, I'm a retailer. I'm a capitalist. I want your money, but I don't want you to die trying to get to me. I don't want you to drown trying to get to me. So yeah, lots of fun today. Lots of fun today. I even have I for some reason I filmed the water because people don't believe me. They don't believe me when I say this is fucked up. They don't believe me. So I taped it. I showed it to the landlords, and it's been so much fun. Yes, wonderfully miserable day. Wonder if it was the last 4 or 5 days, because Saturdays, I'm still reeling from Saturday. Saturday really screwed me up, man. So yeah, there's my play. How are you doing, Azteca? What's going on? The Duckman is here. Randall Hawa 7000. That's your first time I've seen you here. Did I see Michael Rosenbaum did an interview with Allison Mack, this podcast? Yeah, somebody shared it to me. I guess so. I guess so. That prison might change you. I don't know a lot about her situation. First of all, guys, full disclaimer, I watched Smallville, but I really never was connected to it like a lot of you guys are. I know who she is, and I know what she did, and I know she spent some time. She got off from what I can tell. I know she got off. She could have gotten a lot of prison time, and she didn't. So happy to see. Listen, people change, people rehabilitate, and people change their lives. So congratulations to her. It sounds like she's coming full circle with what she did. But yeah, I saw that. I saw the interview, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. Hell, nobody who had okay. We'll touch on that in ways that I can probably without getting too crazy. But yeah. How you doing, Ozzy? What's going on? William, the crazy how popular Absolute Batman is. I hear and see people who haven't read a comic. Yes, this is the best thing about it. It's why I have an Absolute section at the Sci-Fi Center. It is very important because a lot of people are the hardest thing to do when it comes to comic book collectors to get a brand new collector going is getting them over the intimidating factor that there's been millions of issues of all these things. They don't know where to get in. Here you have an entire universe that's on the ground level. It's only been around just over a year, and it's still relatively cheap enough, and they've made it cheap enough and accessible for the brand new person to get in, but they've also made it accessible for the old school person to come back. A lot of people have issues with the way their characters have been written. We had Jared on here a lot, who's Tom King's disciple. Not he hates him, but he's not happy with the way Wonder Woman is being done. I know a lot of people who weren't happy with the way Superman is being done and Batman and so on. So they've left those books. The Absolute Universe allows those people to come back home. So yeah, I agree 100%. Okie dokie. Wow, I got a lot of crazy bots in here tonight. Why me, guys? Isn't there bigger channels with a lot heavier following that you can come jam up the Hold on, let me scan my chat here and make sure that there's a let's see. Gotta make sure. This is crazy shit. All right. I'll go ahead and tackle this real quick. Question, William, what are your thoughts on the Saudis want to use Zack Snyder verse against Marvel Avengers Doomsday? I have heard no credible anything about this. Hunter, I'm not saying you're lying or anybody's lying. I haven't heard it yet. So I don't have an opinion about that. When it comes to Snyder's stuff, All I want personally is a conclusion to what they started. That's it. I don't need an entire resurrection of the entire universe to go on for years and years and years. I mean, if I were to get that, I wouldn't say no to it. But at this point, I just want to see where the Dark Side War ends. I want to see all the stuff that I saw at the end in the epilogue of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I want to see that come to fruition. I want to see the battle with Themyscira between them and Darkseid. I want to see Superman get turned and turned back. I want to see Flash on the cosmic treadmill. I want to see the stuff around Jared Leto's Joker. I want to see that. That's it. Where you go from there, I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean, but that gap is what bothers me, and the way it ended is what's bothering me. I'm not a restore the Snyderverse guy. I'm a resolve the Snyderverse guy. I'm going to conclude the Snyderverse guy, and anything I would get beyond that would be fine. So I don't have any real thoughts about what the Saudis would do. I don't even know if it's even gotten to that point yet. I mean, they wouldn't even be in control of the company if they bought it, from what I understand. If Ellerson and Paramount did this, they would have controlling interest. They would be, and this is one of the questions I was asking about Comcast. If Comcast were going to use Saudi money, who has controlling interest in the company? So apparently, from what I have been reading later on, earlier today, it would still be Paramount, Skydance. Hunter Iggy William, not a haymaker knockout. And what if he? Okay, can you clarify, Hunter? I missed. Is this a part of your first question? Because I'm missing. I think I'm missing some context there. Yeah. I was facing a guy who had Dak Prescott as his quarterback, so he made me kind of nervous there. But yeah, the Raiders. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate may come back in the DCU project in an interview, but Gunn said he doesn't know anything about that. So who's telling the truth? Well, it's Gunn. It would be Gunn. It would be. I'm not saying Pierce Brosnan's lying, but he probably heard something or in a gray area something. But Gunn's the studio head. So if Gunn says he doesn't know anything about it, then that's the truth. That's the reality. Not necessarily truth, but it's reality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Raiders. Hey, listen, we got a stadium out of the deal, so I'm not a big, Okay, so yeah, I don't think I have any further to add to that, Hunter. I mean, if you want any more clarification, just ask me. Give me a little bit more. We talk all kinds of stuff. I hope you're not a bot. I really don't want to spend the next 20 minutes, get rid of bots. But if you watch the show, Mr. Kaufman's, we talk about all manner of science fiction, horror, and fantasy. Just look at some of the thumbnails. This is why becoming easy to hate billionaires, because they want to own everything and sell information to one another. That's my answer. We talk a lot of science fiction, horror, fantasy. Right now, it's an open topic. No particular topic night. That's why it's Midnight Express, open topic, open Q&A. So if you have a question about science fiction, horror, fantasy, you want to ask, this is your time to ask it. If you look at throughout the other shows, though, we have specific topics from every channel. Like our last Saturday night show, it's all science fiction, horror, and fantasy. Sometimes, in fact, most of the times when we have a topical show, it covers all three. So, but tonight is because I've been doing other things today, having to do with property damage and things like that. I did not put together a specific topic show, but there are plenty of our shows that you can look at where we cover all of the above. Why do ghost plants not get enough respect? I don't know. Yeah, this is probably the furthest thing from the truth, but you know what? That's why I stayed off the air for the most part on the 17th. I don't recognize November 17th as anything significant, to be honest with you. Triffids, like the Day of the Triffids. I love that movie. I watch a lot of the lot of 50 stuff if that's what you're referring to. Day of the Triffids. It's actually Rocky Horror fans. Day of the Triffids. It's actually in the theme song for Science Fiction Double Feature. How you doing, Film Psychic? Yeah, Day of the Triffids is a classic, man. Day of the Triffids. We actually, because I have my own Rocky Horror Picture Show class, Cash, and when it's called Science Fiction Double Feature, and for a string of time, everything that is in that song, like The Day the Earth Stood Still, one of my favorites, I showed that. But Day of the Triffids is actually in that song, so we showed that. Yeah, Day of the Triffids, man. I actually have a VHS copy of Day of the Triffids at the store. No, man, no, you're not alone. In fact, there's a lot of just put it out there, whatever you're into. I may or may not know about it, but this is the place if you think you're alone as far as being into certain types of movies. Trust me, you may have found somebody because, like I said, I watch a lot of that stuff. I also watch a lot of foreign horror. And guys, just to alert you guys, I'm going to be starting to focus on some of a lot of the foreign horror, the Italian stuff, the Spanish stuff. That that I've shown here at the center, but I think that the modern horror audience, really, be honest with you, needs to be reconnected with some of the classic stuff from the late 60s and early 70s. If you love slasher movies, you need to look at some of the old Italian stuff by Argento, Fulci. These guys were the ones that a lot of us were copying from then. The fake chat. There's no fake chat. There's two chats. There's a horizontal one and a vertical one. Trying to stay dry. That's where I'm at. Trying to stay dry. I have not gotten into Landman. I'm just it just doesn't it's not the kind of show I generally get into. So yeah, I haven't. I heard it's great. You know, I'm gonna have to trust the people who watch it. Yeah, welcome to Jerry's. It's good. Like I can't come up with more words to describe how satisfied I am with the show. It's escalating. It's escalating and it's covering a lot of ground. I rewatched the last episode, and I rewatched the episode after we do our show because when I watch the show with you guys, I make sure that that's the first time that I see it. I want my expressions and reactions to be as you guys see them. It's a lot cooler that way. And then I rewatch it to catch a lot of the details and stuff. And they have covered a lot of ground, and it's accessible because you don't have to be into Stephen King stuff. To be honest with you, I've shown this to somebody who has not even seen any version of it and has never watched Stephen King stuff, just as an experiment to see how accessible it is, and they're able to follow along. Now, does it enhance the experience if you know who these people are and you are familiar with Stephen King lore? Yeah, it does, definitely. But you can walk into the show and watch it from the beginning, up to where we are at night, and you'd be just fine. So yeah, I think it Welcome to Derry. It's as good as I expected it to be, maybe even better, to be honest with you. Okie dokie. I have not seen Edgington. See, that's how you know who's serious. Who else is part of that? Yeah, this is dude. There's a lot of stuff we can get into. I mean, we've gone off topic to where I've had a thumbnail for something else, and then we ended up talking about because somebody in the chat will bring up something, and then we'll just go with that. So no, I don't know. I always listen to Punk Rocker for some reason. I ain't the biggest fan of Superman 25, but that sequence is done. A lot of people like that song. I had never heard of that song until then. I didn't know it was Iggy Pop song until then. Wow, you're just now seeing that? That's a really good movie. That's a tragic, it's a sad ending movie, but and this is coming from somebody I'm not. Listen, if there's a genre that's a turnoff to me, to be honest with you, zombies is it. I pretty much skip most zombie movies, not because they're bad or I think they're bad. It's just I got in the late '90s, in the early 2000s, I just got burnt out, in my opinion, on zombie movies. But Train to Busan is an excellent movie. It's an excellent movie, and I think there's a sequel, isn't there? Train to Busan has a sequel that's either equally as good. So yeah. Yeah, there's a sequel. I have not seen the sequel. Let's see. I see. I haven't been when I'm watching Welcome to Derry. I haven't had a chance to judge the effects, and I'm really not in that. But the grotesque nature of the effects is really fucking with the last one with the girl in the eyes. And I'm not. Listen, guys, you will usually lose me if you do something with the genitals. Probably got dismonetized for that, or you do something with the eyes. You can hack up, disembowel, behead, rip apart, do anything. Once you fuck with the eyes, I can't do it. I can't watch, man. It just fucks me up. You know, but some people can't watch needles. I can watch all kinds of needles, but don't do any needles anywhere near those two areas. We're good. But yeah. What I haven't been paying attention. I did it. Let's see what Wonderman did. I saw some people posting about it, but I didn't really click on the post. Did it not do well? Let's see. Right, Running Man. Oof. Yeah, 28 million. That's not good. I mean, it made its projections. I thought it would make a lot more, but it made what they thought it was going to make. So. Okay, there it is a trilogy. All right, I did hear that it was designed, but I have not seen. You know what? That might on our Thanksgiving marathon for AFSP. How about we watch Train to Busan? Train to Busan, and possibly its sequel, either on Thanksgiving or the Christmas one, because we got 3 AFSP marathons coming up, and I really want to throw some 400. You know what? Let's pencil that in. Let's do Train to Busan on Thanksgiving Day. There we go. I'm as excited for Man Tomorrow as I was for Superman. I keep my expectations where they are at that. Lanterns, I'm over the moon about. I just wish it would fucking happen. I mean, I'm not a big fan of having to wait till after Supergirl if that is indeed the case. Soul Station, yeah, because it's a Korean. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely do Train to Busan on Thanksgiving. Good. Now I'm starting to line up. William, who do you think will face in? I think it's either Sheamus or Gunther. What are your on thoughts on the best Raw and Raw? That Raw was actually pretty good. Did pretty decent. You know, Roman Reigns. You had all the major players in there for a while. It's a setup show for Survivor Series, which is fine. But I actually watched the whole, for the most part, most of Raw this last Sunday. So it didn't touch Blood and Guts, though. Blood and Guts was, and I'm not generally into the Blood and Guts, the whole just crazy shit, but it actually, and the women carried the show for me. I thought the women's match was far better than the men's match. Yeah, it didn't. It just formed, like I said, in the late '90s for me, and early 2000s, where it just seemed, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it seemed like every horror movie was zombies or some type of zombies. Some of them were good, but it was just so much. I just, when I would hear zombie movies come out, whereas vampire movies, I can't have enough of those. It's just a personal preference, I guess. Yes and no. Yes, because it's John Carpenter. No, because I don't know how you Americanize that or its sequel. But if there's only like maybe a handful of people. The person who I thought would ever try to tackle that American was current Tarantino. I thought he would do that, but it's John Carpenter, which is weird to me. Burning Man made about $26 million. Okay, all right, dude. I know which one you're talking about, and you're gonna give me nightmares. Saw 2 has the 2 traps that just mess with my brain. The needle one, which is when I saw that the opening day, people got up and left. People who paid to see that movie got their happy asses up and left because of that scene, and they were leaving like this. The one that gets me from Saw 2 is when the girl reaches up in the thing and gets her hands caught in the blade. Yeah, Saw 2 out of all of them has those traps that really disturb me. The rest of the Saw traps are like, that's interesting. But those 2 are like, the needle one, like I said, 6 people I count got up and left. Yeah, I think you're talking about yeah. Chappie, question: what are your thoughts on film critics, Rotten Tomatoes, and should people take them seriously? I've answered this a million times. I'll answer it again. I don't listen. I respect the role critics have in the industry, but you as a consumer, it comes down to the 3 M's, guys. It's your moment, it's your money, it's your memory. If you're interested in seeing something and you're compelled to see something, unless it's your ride or die homie that just knows your movie taste and everything else, or somebody that knows what you're gonna like or not, because they've watched so many movies, and if they come up to you and say, "Hey, so stay away from that," because I've been 50, 60 movies with you. I know what you like. Maybe even still, but when it's some random person, and I know it's their job to give, but I don't have to listen to them. And I know people come up with their argument. Well, wouldn't you want professional advice if you were going to buy a car or get a computer? Well, first of all, I know how to build computers. I wouldn't need anybody's advice. But here's the thing, though. I don't know the inner workings of a car to that point. I don't know, equipment things like that that's I would need an advisor on. There is no better advisor to me on the things that I like than me. I know what I like. I know how I feel when I go to these things. So some critic that I don't know and I never meet and watches a bunch of movies during a week, maybe he doesn't have the connection to the movie I do. So I don't have a lot of use when it comes to critics. I respect them, but I personally would tell people, listen, how do these things make you feel? Are you excited to go see something? And if you are, don't let somebody's opinion take that away from you. So yeah. William, I think all kind of mayhem will break loose in wake. Oh, fuck yeah! I think that's a good bet. Welcome, Derry. It will be so bad. I feel that Canada making adults forget will be established to cover it up. I can't really predict to you what's going to happen in this show. It's that good. It's written that well. I can't really guess. Budget for Running Man was like 125, which is not too much. Not too much. Oh no, I'm sorry, 110. So yeah, you might make it, but plus that's kind of, once again, that's a date night movie too. So, well, yeah, because I'm not a Edward Wright fan. I'm not a hater, but I'm just like I told you guys before. I don't really recognize his style like a lot of people do. So, Zombies are your best. See, it's vampires for me. I love dude. You give me a good vampire movie, and it's not easy to do. I will settle in on a good vampire movie. 30 Days a Night right now, to me, is the best vampire movie I've seen. I just absolute carnage and horror, all that blood, all that red blood on that white snow. It's so beautiful. But not, Francis Ford Coppola Dracula. I love that movie, and that's a different type of Dracula movie, or vampire movie. So, Lost Boys, we just did Lost Boys the other day. As part of our Halloween marathon. So yeah, I'm up on it. I wish they would do the Darkest Night, Brightest Dawn storyline in the trilogy. I'd be down for that. 3 train movies on the Midnight Express. What do we call that? The Midnight Meat Train? Yeah. Well, at least thank you for spelling train right, dumbass. Instead of not knowing how to spell train or pushing the enter button too soon. And now we have that other word, part of our reality. I put way too much hype into Superman. My expectations are still high. Superman tomorrow, I expect it to be more focused on than Superman. Yeah, I think as the story evolves, I think the hype around Superman will concentrate. Plus, you'll have an entire universe that it's going to be playing off of too. Jappy, could we do Total Recall remake director on Sunday night? Possibly. I'm actually available on Sunday. Get back with you on that one. Film Psychic, I'm going to prepare for work. I'll finish the stream there. All right, man. Have a good day at work. I've heard this. That might be another one that I throw out there. Ooh, yeah. Just flipping through some of these. My only issue with the bullshit that was reported is we know Christopher Nolan has said he's not doing any more. I don't ever believe that. I never believe when somebody says they're never going to do something. If the right opportunity comes up to work with somebody again, who knows what'll happen. I mean, he may have felt that at the moment, but I don't see any evidence that anybody's done the research to make the next step in it, unless it's James Gunn. I think your best shot is for him to sit down with Zack Snyder just for the hell of it and just do it. That's it. But right now, I don't know any business reasons. You'd have to do the research, and you guys got to realize that before you even think about spending $1 on any of that, you have to make sure that there's a significant audience there to justify that expenditure. And I just don't know if there is right now. Could be. Michael Mann didn't ask for too much money. That would have been a WB that passed. Was it? Yeah, it's possible. I know it was. I know it was the most beautiful vampire movie I've seen. I mean, just that raw savagery of the Batman. What's going on?
Sorry. Behind you tonight.
William, do you get Carrie vibes from Welcome to Derry? I get Carrie vibes from Welcome to Derry. I get it vibes, obviously. But yeah, Carrie vibes are well, I don't know if they're setting her up in that way because I don't know if she has abilities like Carrie did, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think those other girls were trying to, but the girl with the eye, if you read the previews and you look at the previews, she only lost one eye, it looks like. But it looks like she comes over to the side of the weird kids. I love the takes on vampires and FX originals. The Strain, yeah, The Strain was tough. I still haven't finished watching Frankenstein. I got to get on that.
How far are you in it?
I just it's still that halfway.
Happened it since.
Yeah, I gotta like be. And I've had other shit going on too.
I mean, come up on Black Friday and all that. Yeah.
Snowpiercer, I'm not as up on Snowpiercer as a lot of people are. I know we've had shows about it and movies about it, but I'm not as up on Snowpiercer. I know what it's about, but that's about it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool premise. If I had the choice, who would you prefer to buy MWB?
We said like Apple or Amazon.
Apple or Amazon or Microsoft.
And Apple, I don't think they even they've even put it in a bid, have they?
No, they don't need it. Comcast only did it because of everybody else is involved with it. But I think the people who are in the front running are the absolute worst people to have it. To be honest with you, I'm not a big believer in Paramount, and yeah, I just a lot of other reasons, like the Saudi situation, which I think is going to turn a lot of Americans off. But I'll leave that to them to be turned off. That's the thing. But I just don't like. I just think it's bad. I think it's bad for the overall quality of the industry if this goes down. So I have not seen a Project Hail Mary trailer.
I have not. No. I didn't know there was a Carrie show in the works. I wasn't aware of that.
Let's see. Fourth, William, have you seen a Vampire Cop trailer? Isn't that a Stephen King?
I couldn't. Yeah.
I think the Night Shift is Stephen King, but no, I have not. And I probably should have, but I have not.
It's like the Michael Bay. Oh yeah, that's gonna be huge. And apparently, it's like it only goes like up. It covers like up to like around the time of like Beat It or Thriller, or like kind of like the peak of his career, 80s career. So basically, like before things started kind of going south. That's kind of where it takes off, and then they're like going to gauge the reactions. Okay, now Michael Part 2 is going to cover the rest of it.
Hold on, I thought this is the Night Shift. Maybe I have seen this. Let me look this up. Okay, we got you talking about Night Shift 2023? All right. Written by Paul Benjamin. Written by Paul and Benjamin. Shot in 17 days. And no, I have not seen this. If this is the one you're talking about. Night Patrol. It's a lot of night movies. Hold on. All right, that's 2025. A film by Ryan Prowse. All right, the film has a world premiere in Fantastic Fest September 19th and is scheduled to be released in the United States in January 16th by Argelo Fields. Okay. Have not seen it. That's another Shudder film. So might be taking a look at it. How you doing, Hal? Yeah, please like, subscribe, both streams if you're watching both streams. 30 Days of Night Patrol. Yeah. Welcome to Barrow. The sequels were not good. I didn't like the sequel. At least the one sequel I saw. But the first, 30 Days of Night's one of the best vampire movies ever made.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rational Skeptic with $5 super chat. Thank you. William, Paramount promised Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi a DCIP, DC movie premiere, and a DC movie shoot. That's fine. As long as they don't have the controlling interest in all that, they can do that kind of deal. That's fine. As long as
by the way,
the absolute person that's running it is the American company. What's up?
And actually, reading a bit more into kind of how this is, I think actually Paramount would have the goose. What it is like, each of these countries, their Commonwealth fund is chipping in like 5 or 10 billion or something like that.
Yeah,
so but then Paramount, like what's coming from their end, it's like 50 billion. Then the total is going to get up to 70 billion, but that Paramount's still putting in like the bulk of the money for that. So so they would be the majority shareholder, and therefore it's like, okay, they're just getting more capital to kind of make their bid stronger, but they still are they're still kind of the captain.
Yeah, and that's what that was the question I wanted to have answered when it was Comcast in that same situation. Who has controlling interest? Because I don't want the kind of stuff I like to see in American movies, but things that may not sit well in another culture just to be curtailed because of that. So still not good news that it's Paramount, but still. But thank you for the $5. But yeah, if they decide if they want to shoot in Saudi Arabia, I mean, I'm not a big fan of doing business with certain countries, and I'll just leave it there. But
like you said, it's like this is hardly the first time we've done this.
No, we've been allies with Saudi Arabia, normalization. Obviously, there's oil involved. There's strategic regional interests involved. But they got a long way to go, in my opinion. So there we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, well, Wicked is going to make a lot of money. I don't know how much it's going to make, and not $1 of it will be for me. So.
Well, I mean, all respect, based on the returns of the last one, it doesn't need $1 from you or from me.
Yeah, I can enjoy it. Congratulations on you guys deploying money.
The last one did budget 150, box office 759, so it did pretty damn good.
Yeah, it
could go higher this next one.
I'm sorry, I just don't have any interest in seeing it. I didn't even have any interest when the trailer came out. I endured that trailer for Aaron. All right, let's see those coming. Oh, look who's here, Mr. England.
By the way, happy birthday, Taladia. Your birthday was just on the 16th.
Was it? Happy birthday. The big 4-0.
Well, that's right. That's the joke I tell. Is like, oh, Taladia, his birthday is November 16th, and he went in 2017 to the Thursday early show of the theatrical Justice League. So it's like, oh, that was kind of a bit of a downer on your birthday, man. So
yeah, if you guys didn't notice, I stayed off of the internet for the 17th.
I saw you post like all that stuff, like
prior I posted that because I knew I wanted no involvement in anything regarding November 17th.
Well, we had it was a pretty cool day when people.
What are we recognizing? The day that fucking movie got released? No,
the day that we pushed for the real movie to recognize.
That is not a date on the calendar for me.
It is days. And the other thing for me is the third angle for it is like it's reclaiming that date. It's reclaiming the November. It was like we're taking the bad version out, putting the good version in.
The announcement and the release. Everything else is just an opportunity to start a fight. That after 8-9 years. It's like banging your head on a brick wall and thinking that you're actually going to get your head through the wall.
Well, a lot of fireworks, no less. And Zach posted, he got a little bit on it.
He's been posting that shit every day, though. It's not like that particular day was. I mean, he's been posting Batman and Superman and all these Wonder Womans for a way as a way to hype his new film up because it doesn't have a distributor, and what better way to build a hype?
I disagree. I think he's stirring the pot in ways that we're not crediting him for it, but I mean that's all.
That's what conspiracy theorists do. Where there's nothing, they put something.
With this man, there is ample room for conspiracy theory.
Like I said, dogs that chase their tails will either stop and throw up, or they actually catch the tail. But either way, it's a losing bargain. Stay off the internet.
Pretty cool day with that. I mean, definitely, of course, got the news diving on it. Even at some outlets that I have formerly contributed to, and
what news?
Trying to think of anything else. The other like different publications ever before. And by the way, also we got something not related to DC yesterday, but it was definitely music to my ears. Let me see if I'm going to pull this up.
Are you pulling up some kung fu bullshit?
It's got martial arts in it, but it's also very sci-fi. Here we go. It's actually exclusive that Empire had.
Do you know what you're doing, Ben?
Huh? Yes, I know what
I'm doing. You know what you're
doing. So this, like, in addition to the Snyderverse festivities yesterday, Exclusive. James Cameron says he and Robert Rodriguez have sworn a blood oath to make Alita 2, maybe 3-2. Make progress on that. I appreciate the loyalty of Alita fans. And he, in this, he went a little bit further, saying like, in fact, let me see if I can actually read the actual quote here. Appreciate the loyalty of Alita fans. Robert Rodriguez and I have sworn a blood oath to do at least one more Alita movie. In fact, we're thinking of an architecture or the bridges, a third film, but we'll be satisfied to make one more. We're making progress on that. And Cameron, further stated, now that I have a home in Austin, Texas, about 3 miles from Robert's place, I think we'll probably get more serious about that as soon as I wrap the mix here in a few weeks. The mix being for, Avatar, Fire and Ash. So yes, more Alita, please. Yes,
Okay.
I am so down. I'm so down.
Pass.
It's got martial arts in it, but it's very sci-fi too. It's post-apocalyptic. It's a dystopian future. The cyborg warrior chick. Come on.
It didn't really grab me. It felt like every movie of that genre all wrapped up.
And see, I'd love to be able to tell you, like, I walked into that as like the world's biggest, because Cameron had been trying to like make that for like 20 years, but which is kind of like the story of his whole career. It's like everything he does, like, it's so grandiose. It takes him 20 years to get it off the ground. I'd love to be able to tell you I walked in there the biggest Alita fan, but saw the trailer, thought, okay, this looks interesting. And that made me like, Alita fan. I was like, okay, now I've read the manga, I've read, you guys gotten all into that world, so I am so ready to.
Yeah, we promoted it. I saw it. Actually, no. When did this come out? Is this one we promoted? This was
2019.
Yeah, no, we did promote it. I still got posted at the store. Listen, all film is subjective. I found it cliche and kind of boring. And nothing I would go back to again. But I could see the appeal. I definitely see why you guys like it. I just didn't. And it just, I saw it. It was something I did, and now it's about it. But I'm not into a lot of the genres that support. I mean, I'm into dystopian. I'm into, but I've seen it done better in just almost every other format. And see, the problem with watching a lot of these films is like I've seen. If you're gonna have those tropes, you got to be really, really good at them in order to be like, oh, wow, now I feel like I'm feeling when I watch this movie or that movie. I just didn't feel anything when I watched that movie. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't kick over the trash can. I just went on to something else. It was so easy to move on from. But
I
a
love
lot of people like it.
It's
Yeah, and that's why I don't really report on it, because I don't care if they ever make a sequel.
Well, no, like you said before, it's like because it, especially for being like a kind of a niche anime and manga property, again, not being terribly known outside Japan. Before the movie came out, it did actually pretty good. It did pull up the numbers here. So it came out 2019 budget. It says 170, 150 to 200. I think everybody's kind of settled on probably like the net budget ended up being probably like with rebates, refunds, all that. It's probably like about 170 they spent. And then box office is
don't assume that every movie gets rebates. Most movies don't. Most movies don't get rebates, and that's deal breaker for some movies. By the way, if this ever comes up again, most movies don't get those. Those are very hard to get in a lot of states and places you film. They don't want to give them out because then they got to deal with constituents. What are you going to give them? Well, most movies don't get those.
Like Georgia, like my state. Now, Alita wasn't, as far as I know, wasn't filmed anywhere here. But I mean, like that's one thing. We have the Georgia tax credit for film production here, so that's made Georgia very attractive.
And it's cool if you can film if your movie is suitable to be filmed in a certain environment where that works. Some of these movies, there's no breaks.
Well,
there's no
Marvel loves they love Atlanta.
Yeah, but they're moving out. They're moving out of there. They're going to London now. So.
Well, I mean, like the joke I tell is, at least up to that was that. They filmed so much in Atlanta. I mean, I would imagine like most of the MC regular cast, they probably have like bought like second homes or property in Atlanta, because like, okay, we spend so much time working in Atlanta, let's get a residence
that was a
here.
big story. It's like they're moving a bulk of their filming to London.
Which that's kind of more DC's thing in the last 10 years or so.
Oh, and it's cheaper overall, but they don't. Once again, some movies will get those rebates and credits. Most of them do not. Most of them do not, because it's just not something that's automatically worked in. So there are some movies who do, but most of them do not. And there's a way you can find out about that. You can find out about how much movies get them because it's public knowledge because you're dealing with taxpayers' money. So it's actually public knowledge. But I don't know if that movie got
it. Also was probably let me look, because I would imagine because it was Rodriguez, probably a lot of it was done in Texas too. Yeah, it was filming. It was done. Rodriguez America Studios in Austin, Texas. Yeah, it was done mainly in Texas because it's Rodriguez. But yeah, like you said before, you kind of like the kind of like Alita. You don't think it should get a sequel, like monetarily. You don't think it should get, but
no,
Cameron probably will.
because you're not going to say no to James, even if Alita 2 is not financially viable, and it's probably not. You're not going to say no. The first time you say no to James Cameron, he's going to remember that when it's Avatar 10 or whatever. So I don't believe Alita, based on its numbers, warrants a sequel. But your association with James Cameron is going to trump that. Yeah, that's not always a good. That's a long-term good business reason. It's not an immediate one.
Yeah, because I love the story about. I think it was actually in the making of him getting the budget or whatever for like the Avatar sequels, and he was running some trepidation with the Fox executives, and he stopped them and said, "Hey guys, real quick reminder: this building that we're having this conversation right now, Titanic paid for that." He knows how to.
That's
a
good thing to have,
but
it also you can also use that leverage to make movies that they're like, oh, we're gonna take a nut punch for this one, but we're doing this so that in 3 years when you're making these other movies, we're just keeping you happy. Because what did Alita pull in?
Did 405
off of it's a $200 million budget. So and they did promote the fuck out of that movie, because that's how I found out about it. I didn't even know what it was until I saw posters and shit.
Yeah,
keychains and all kinds of shit.
So I go like anime chick, kicking dudes.
And the big old eyes. You take away the 35%, depending on that the theater gets, it starts to diminish. I didn't see it there, but once again, you're just going to keep James Gunn. It's worth you. It's for you to keep James Gunn happy. What'd I say?
You said James Gunn happy.
James Gunn. Too many fucking Jameses in it. But yeah, Jimmy C. It's worth it. And whether I'm going to go see it or not doesn't matter. You have an audience of one here, and it's James Cameron. You want him making your next Avatar or whatever, Return to Titanic, whatever other $1 billion movie he's going to make.
We got the third Avatar coming up. He like mapped out like 5 all told. So
and I am probably not going to see another one. Doom Messiah is set to release. Yeah, I wish it was 2025 because I can't wait for that movie. Variety said Paramount denied that they were getting money from. Now they said they were getting money from the Saudi government. There are investors in these countries that are not necessarily the government. So that's what the clarification was, if I can understand it. But my mind was on buckets of water today and not chasing the stale. So
again, because like all the headlines about this thing, it's like Saudi Arabia wants to buy whatever, because that makes for like a quick like shorthand kind of headline, but it's like that's not what it is.
Yeah,
it's like,
keyword is Saudis, and that's going to shut people down right there and then. So
William Brad was here at a holiday movie, Die Hard.
I'm just thinking, completely ignoring that's not a holiday movie for me.
What we talked.
I mean, I got a lot of genres though. It's hard because I have horror movie ones, and then I have ones that make me. It's a Wonderful Life for me. It's a Wonderful Life for me holds up to this day, especially when you figure a lot of the work. By the way, next couple of weeks we got a lot of holiday AFSP stuff. When you think of the work we've done with American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, remember what George Bailey is doing in that movie. How he meets the angel, how he gets sent on that adventure. He's about to kill himself. He's just lost all of his money. He's just lost everything, and he's about to jump into the river and commit suicide. And Clarence stops him. And he puts him in a position where
his angel. His real name's Clarence.
He sees what life would be if he hadn't been born, and he sees the importance that he has on all these people's lives without the material things that he is about to kill himself over. So that movie is 60, 70 years old. Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life is probably my favorite overall movie. Now, once we get down into genre specific, I mean, movies like Black Christmas, Some of the modern stuff,
I think you also say Thanksgiving.
and then the one with John Leguizamo, we just a Silent Night, Violent Night.
Violent Night.
Holy shit! Violent Night is one of the most violent movies ever done. Period.
Lives up to its title.
Period. That movie starts a little bit slow, and once it starts cutting and gutting, it doesn't stop, and it does it in ways that will take a horror veteran like me. Ask Clint. There's a scene in there where the kid sets up a horrible trap for this guy.
It involves a nail.
And he slips on the ladder, and the nail on the ladder hits him at the top of his mouth. That shook the shit out of me, dude. I almost jumped out of my chair and floated to the right. I'm like, holy fuck! And then the rest is just there's a scene where somebody gets killed with a chimney. That's very creative.
That's like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
That's very creative. And and Santa Claus is some Viking warrior shit. This movie's great. So yeah, when we start getting into my genre, the horror genre, Thanksgiving, Halloween for Halloween, if you want to consider it a holiday. Thanksgiving is a classic. And then you have Violent Night. But overall, the human in me, the non creepy motherfucker in me, it's gonna be It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I definitely would put Violent Night up there as a new Christmas classic for me. Because it's Die Hard with Santa, thus proving Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Sorry.
I don't even think that Violent Night, people made that comparison because we went to a pre-screening of that. People make that comparison. I don't see, not every movie with one guy facing a bunch of people is Violent Night. Stop that.
No, you mean it's not Die Hard.
I mean, Die Hard. Not every movie with a guy, a snarky guy. That's if people get Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard is Die Hard, guys. These other movies are different.
Yeah,
Violent Night is not Die Hard at all.
Speaking of Die Hard, by the way, because you had one I kind of quote tweeted here. I'm gonna pull this up. You were having some fun the other day. Let me pull this up here. It's about our favorite, former action star Steve Seagal.
Every time I look at this, because I noticed this years ago, but every time there's so many reasons why I don't like this movie. I don't like him. I think the movie kind of sucks. Tommy Lee Jones carries the movie. The rest of the movie kind of blows. And Gary Busey. The whole thing, they call him Chief. They call him Chief Ryback.
Yeah. For this, what is he have seen? It's like he's it's got a Die Hard kind of scenario where it's like these terrorists take over this battleship, and Seagal is this former like super high ranking Navy SEAL dude who's been he went rogue.
Yeah, he punches
one time now, and now he's been demoted to, as he was, just a lowly cook, but he's again still referred to like chief petty officer. It's full. Yeah, but it's all kinds of. There's tons of bullshit.
Well, the movie set. But anyway, look at the. He's a chief, and if you look at the movie when they kill the captain, and the captain's just one of his closest friends, and when they're doing the funeral, if you watch the funeral, he's in the proper uniform. But for some reason, to sell the movie, you put this shit on posters, thousands of posters across the nation. Nobody gave a fuck. Why? Because the military, Captain Kirk back then, and they didn't care. G.I. Joe, yeah, there you go. The people didn't understand. Growing up in a military household with a Navy chief as an uncle, a master chief.
And my uncle,
Master Chief James Powell Jr. And he looked at this and then just made me throw up. NCOs do not have shoulder boards like that.
What was the other thing you point out too? Because when the bad guys take over the ship and they realize that Seagal's he's like the one man army taking out their guys, and they look him up and say, it's like, wait a minute, this guy's was super high ranking, and or he's decorated before he was demoted, and you say it's like, well, again, this information should be much more readily available.
Yeah, you fucking planned to take over a battleship. You didn't look at the crew manifest before you did to see if there was anybody like that could stop you. You had a plan to kill certain people because you knew they would get in your way. When you look at the designation on a crew manifest, anything like that, it's called an MTO in the Army. It's called an MTO. It's your specialty, your rank, everything. It's all there. A Navy SEAL specialty, even if he's a master chief and he's a cook, that's his rating right there. But that in parentheses, it says SEAL. I don't care what you do for the rest of your life. SEAL is your designation. So you didn't see that?
And Navy SEALs are, I mean, they're tough dudes. And so there's no sugarcoating. Like, they're tough dudes.
And so not only that, the movie was horrible, but not only that, I'm looking at this again because it came up for some reason, and I'm like, he's wearing, if you look, and I can see it, he's wearing an Admiral Soldier Boards. That's an Admiral Soldier Boards,
Which would mean he's. I mean, no, that's fine. That's basically means you're the captain of the ship.
No, you're the higher than that. You run a fleet. So he's got the anchor. And if you look at the full poster, and I've seen it, he has stars on it. I'm like, dude, you're not an admiral. The Navy chiefs wear the white, but they have an anchor. The biggest symbol of a naval chief is that anchor. You earn your anchor. Like my uncle had 2 stars in the anchor. That's a master. That's an E9. That's the highest you can get. All right, your senior chief is 1. I think that's what he was. And I looked at it. He did E7 or E8. He had the Well, E7, he's E7 if he's a chief, no matter what. But the stars is the E8. So that's what you should have on it, and you wear it on your collar device. This shit here, but nobody fucking cares. Just, but yeah. Hey, listen, it's free. Dude, you give me a Starbucks card. Give me a Starbucks card. $50. I was pointing out, dude, I was 9. I was 9 and I knew every rank in the Navy. Why? Because every time I went to Virginia and went to Uncle Jimmy's house, he had all that shit there. Star Trek helped, but he helped line it up. And obviously every Air Force, there was no way in hell I was going to grow up with the old man and not know every rank of the Air Force. And then in the Army, it was obvious why I would know those. Same thing with the Marines. You could have bought me a toy at 9 years old. I'd have been like, yeah, this one, that's not right.
Well, and now I had a little fun with it. I got in this too. So let me show my quote tweet here, because that's bringing like sort of my angle of it too. Yeah, so for those of you who haven't seen Under Siege, like the final fight, because Seagal, he does, and this is like, I mean, this is back during his period when he was like on the come up. This is when he was like actually kind of, he was someone in the hemisphere of I mean, he was actually getting pretty big at this point, and then he just kind of went,
not deservingly so, but sure.
Yeah, but so he takes out everybody. He doesn't take a scratch in the entire movie. Yeah. And and the final fight is this knife fight with him and Tommy Lee Jones, and it's pretty awesome fight scene up until like the very end when they're kind of scuffling. They're trying to disarm each other. And Seagal, like I kid you not, if you haven't seen this, like he has like a utility knife and Tommy Lee Jones has a kitchen knife, and they're they've got each other by the wrists and they're kind of trying to overpower each other, and then he gets his knife close to Seagal, and Seagal, I swear, like he disarms it. He gets it with his teeth. He takes it out of Tommy Jones's hand.
The whole movie is just horse shit. But but something came up with that movie. Came up, and I saw that picture again, and I remember standing in the movie theater when that came out, and I'm like, what is this? He's a chief. The whole point is he's a chief. He's the chief who punches commanding officer. He was gonna get thrown out of the Navy, but that captain that's on the ship that he's a cook saved his career and let him serve on that ship as a chief. And the whole military decorum in that movie is bullshit. I mean, the whole opening scenes and all that stuff is bullshit. The way, and by the way, it's not just bullshit because some of the enlisted are talking to these officers that way, and some of the senior enlisted that way. It's bullshit because of the way the senior enlisted are talking to some lower enlisted and lower up. Listen, respect's a two-way street. Respect's a two-way street. Those officers like that are on that ship, they treat those NCOs like gold. The NCOs, the chiefs, the master chief, the chief of the boat on those ships, they are the backbone of that ship. The officers are the administrators, but the rest of those sailors, the rest of those chiefs, those men are professionals. And you when you wear those khakis, which is what a chief wears once he reaches E7, that's an act of Congress, pretty much right there. Mm-hmm. So when you see it in the movies, the way they treat him, just like in Star Trek. I know Star Trek is not exactly the thing, but Chief O'Brien, when they finally got his rank right after 8 years on the show, when they finally got his stripes like that, that's what a chief was in an E7, the E8 like that. That's people who train officers. That's why Chief O'Brien was taking a job at the Starfleet Academy, because those are your primary teachers, or you're not commissioned. So when I see it in the movies, I'm like, they're treating these people like shit. It's Hollywood though. But yeah, this movie, it always aggravated me because this was widely distributed.
Yeah. Well, this is also very
Oh
true.
yeah, that's a difference.
But he
Mustache.
I mean, the joke I tell is like, again, this is when he was on. I think this is actually his biggest grossing movie too. Was Under
It
Siege.
has to be, because it went downhill from there.
Yeah, his career definitely.
And he
part of
did
it's
too.
'cause,
He
like,
took it downhill, but hey,
Well, yeah, because he's infamously like a total nightmare to.
he's making movies for Vladimir Putin. So
Yeah, and he but the the joke I tell Seagal, he's the action movie equivalent of PE in high school. Because I mean, look at all of his best stuff is at the beginning of his career.
That's like, yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any better. What Brad Zack Snyder like to post? You know what? I don't think that's a big issue. I think he liked the post. He saw the post. He probably liked a bunch of posts. I don't think I don't think that really means a lot of people. And that's what I mean by just
pissed off a lot of Guns fans.
If you allow yourself into that circus, then you belong with the clowns. I mean, it's like, not everything is like that guy with the conspiracy thing on his board. I mean, Zack Snyder probably like, you know what? I've done it on accident before. I've especially on Instagram, I've looked at some of the stuff that I've liked, and I just did it in batch, and then somebody's like, what you just clicked on?
I mean, it's
oh shit.
I think it's also kind of separate from like the stuff he's been posting his work. As I've said, like I think there's more.
There could be, but I'm not gonna.
But as far as like liking posts, it's like I think probably that's primarily.
I think if he did notice that he was doing it, he's not looking at like the bonehead fans are that are like trying to make a war out of it. He's looking at, hey, your movie in the modern era in 2025 made it's profited its money and all that back. That's all it is. He's a director, and James Gunn is a fellow director.
It's also he probably just it's like, hey, my movie's still being talked about and beloved this much this long after release, so it's probably just like, it's like, yeah, it's like
he's gonna do business with the guy. They're going to do business. I don't know where and when. There's no way they are not going to do business together.
Especially after that picture, again, this is where I say like stirring the pot, but there was one other individual who shall remain nameless who I saw put out something where he said like because he was really incensed about this and said like, imagine being James Gunn, seeing that like I'm sure
he's looking at it and be like, because he's not looking at it from a fan point of view. It's another director liking a total. A new Williamism, dog chasing their tails, either throw up or catch their tail. Yeah, and neither of them, they are both losing propositions. When people get caught up in conspiracy theories, you can really fuck yourself up, and I just don't feel like it. If I don't have the facts to go on. And sometimes it's fun. Sometimes when we're talking movies, it's fun. But when it comes to Zack Snyder and all this stuff that we've had to deal with in the years, man, you guys got some emotional and mental scars to really work through, and it's not fun. If it's not, you can tell when something is fun. And this whole thing. That's why I disappeared on the 17th. I said my piece. I felt ripped off because I promoted the fuck out of that movie. I handed out, I still got 60-something Justice League JL buttons at the store somewhere. I still got those posters. I disagree with, sorry, Film Junkie, I love you, man, but I disagree with them not putting a Superman on there. What the fuck were you doing? That's me.
You notice when the real movie came out, it's like, he's all over the trailer.
You're like, well, he's dead. I'm like, Dad, I understand. Okay, then in the middle, put the RIP suit, put the S, put something that, I mean, I don't know.
There was one poster I remember they put out at the time where it had like the league except for Superman, but they were like configured in a way where it formed him in silhouette.
Yeah, we didn't get any of those. But anyway, that's not what killed that movie. That movie was just,
this is where I love to ask people. It's like, what was like when you first saw it? What was the like moment you realized, like
once we started getting into certain scenes where I knew the trailer that I had seen had passed, like that when he lands in there, and they said you'd come. Remember that was in the trailer, a whole bunch of stuff. And when I heard Danny Elfman's Batman thing, when I started hearing things like that, I'm like, okay, this isn't. this isn't something. This doesn't feel like the two movies that preceded it. I was about halfway through the movie, and I'm like, and with Junkie, it was like, as soon as he saw the mustache, I didn't really pay attention to that. But for me, I just felt it. You
It
know,
hit me seeing the mustache, but I tried to like I
pushed
kinda got
past
past
that.
them. Yeah, it's like I lied to myself for about a week after that.
But the problem with that wasn't a conspiracy theory. That was Jim showing you footage and us following this movie and the lead up to the movie, and then those things being absent. And then it took me a couple days, and then I found Junkie. I found Chris Wong Swinson, and I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. They butchered this movie. And then as we found each other on that, we started to find out now there was a conspiracy, but there you had blatant evidence that there was. If you got to try to be a good conspirator, don't show the trailer with shit in it that you're not going to show me in the movie.
Well, I mean that's not uncommon. Like
it's not uncommon, but when the
here
movie
and there in the trailer,
but usually they take stuff out of the movie that doesn't matter, is not relevant to the movie. When you show shit in the trailer that's kind of relevant, and then you don't show it in the movie,
when it's like something more, something darker, and
and then we find out. Then I start hearing things from Kevin Smith. I start hearing things from my handlers and people like that, because I call them back and I'm like, was that movie, edited? What, and they say, yeah. And then they're like, and then I'm like, I got to get rid of all this Justice League shit. Like almost immediately, because as soon as people start to figure out that what I figured out, as soon as the normies start figuring, they're not going to go see it. There's not going to be those second and third watches. I had 200 tickets to give away, and I'm like, oh.
I think one thing that worked in our favor as far as like the Snyder Cut push is the fact that the studio did not cover their tracks well on what they did.
No, they were stupid. And they thought people pay attention. But guy, like I said, I sat out. I don't have good memories of November 7th. I don't believe the movement started there. I think the movement started weeks later, because I was looking for some people.
I was too.
I like two people. So I don't. Like I said, the reason I don't. It's what was it? May 20th, right? May 20th.
May was the announcement.
May 20th and 3/18. So 5/20 and 3/18. Those are the only two dates. And if we get anything more, that date. But 2/14 and I know. All it is you in a ring, holding up the ropes, wanting me to get in and fight with you. I don't feel the need to fight with anybody over this anymore, and I don't feel the need to defend anything anymore. So I sat November 17th out, as I will every year. But hey, I'm glad you guys got together on it. So released the Conopath.
I saw you.
What the fuck? Alita felt very too. Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was anything that it was trying to be. I didn't feel dystopic about that. I didn't feel, I just didn't feel any of the things that it was supposed to be. I just didn't feel them like I do in movies that are like that, And plus, when it comes to Robert Rodriguez, I like a lot of stuff he does, but there's a lot of stuff he does that I just don't have any time for. It's just, he's made enough stuff to where I can be like, if a director can give me 50% good, I'm all right with it. He doesn't have to have 60, 70%. If a director can give me 50% of the stuff he does, the stuff I like and can get into, that's amazing for me. Because most directors that I find just good, it's usually about 30 to 40%. But so if you can get 50%, 50% is my threshold. If you can't do more than that, then I still go see your movies. But if you're like Uwe Boll or something like that, where it's like I can't take you seriously. Robert Rodriguez's best film from Dusk Till Dawn or Sin City? I'm gonna go with Sin City. One. A lot of people liked Alita. I thought it was okay. Listen, man, it's one of those things that people go back and watch. I don't think its financial status warrants a sequel, but the guy who directed it, that name on the top of it is going to warrant anything he wants at this point. Wasn't Christopher Waltz in Alita?
Yeah, he was Doc Ito.
2-time Academy Award winner Christopher Waltz, and he actually earned his, by the way. He wasn't. People watched that movie. Desperado, I think, is his best movie.
I see some people mentioning The Faculty too. The Faculty was that's probably my first one.
Faculty was kind of fun. He has a wide range. That's the one thing I do like about him. He has a wide genre range. He can kind of do any type of movie you want him to do. Violet Night is just wow.
Again, very and the because they're I think they're actually. We've seen. Have they started on number 2 yet?
Yeah, I had a Violent Night hat on. I mean, I had because we had been promoting the movie. I gave away a shit ton.
Yeah, okay, yes, they already filmed Violent Night 2. They finished actually last month, and it's gonna be out
Fucking get it out in the theater. When did it come out?
December of next year. So, well, they finished filming in October.
Dude, stop it! God damn it, stop! That's
And,
another one. That's another one. Every year. Is Christmas every year? Yes. Is Halloween every year? Yes. Is Thanksgiving every year? Yeah. So you know what you need to be doing in those months up. There should be no gaps. Once again, I told you guys, Friday the 13th, we didn't need to wait around to figure out whether we needed a Friday the 13th new. Next year, we got one. Next year, we got one. Next year, we got one. We got way too many Saw movies than in the compressed time that they got. Some of them were good. Some of them weren't. But a classic like Violent Night and classics like Thanksgiving, I got a gap year. Listen, this is the last fucking gap year for you guys. This is it. Every year. 2026, 2027, 2028, 29, 30, I don't care. Till I'm fucking old and dead. I want another one of these movies. And I want them to get creepier and creepier each movie. Outdo yourselves. But you got a moneymaker here because Violent Night didn't cost shit to make, if I can remember. I don't think it cost anything to make.
First one. Well, I mean, because it's the 87, 11 people, so they tend to be. I mean, John Wick, those budgets have gone up because the movies got more and more successful. Violent Night, the budget was $20 million.
That's nothing.
And box office was 76.6, so it just about quadrupled its budget. So it was absolutely very much.
That movie people are watching on streaming on Christmas because I'm watching it.
Oh,
how much was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving didn't cost shit. Yeah, we went over that too. Thanksgiving.
I remember that like a year, like the year it came out. I saw it like several times theatrically, but it was on. It was also on PVOD like by like 21st.
I don't know about a kids movie. Well, there are kids in the movie, and they're doing awful things. And that family, that family was awful. Man, I was waiting for them. I'm like, when are you gonna die? That's why I was out with those people.
When was it Beverly D'Angelo's in it too?
Yeah, she was a mother. Yeah, she was.
She was like the very foul mouthed matriarch of the family.
Drunk too, at the time.
Oh, she has my favorite line in the movie where she's like, it's this because it's this wealthy family that these bad guys are trying to like commit this heist on the. Thank
you for the super chat, Chappie. But here you go. Oh, I didn't even go off. Hold on. Druggo Die Hard. I don't know what the Druggo is. Is it Christmas movie? It takes place during a Christmas party. No. We've already discussed this.
Yes, and it's already been scientifically proven.
Bullshit. No, it's not.
Wait a second. This is like the equivalent of like being an astronomer and or being a NASA scientist who thinks that gravity is not a thing.
No, that's bullshit. That movie is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, no, you know what is bullshit? Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah.
It's a movie. No. If you're referring to my disdain for Casey Ryback's Admiral Casey Ryback, I know it's a movie, but it doesn't mean you can't do it right. Just because something's fictional doesn't mean you just stop doing it well. I mean, come on, it's a craft.
I guess I'm telling you, like, look at, because I for so long in high school, it's like I fought to like I tried to follow Seagal's like his work like for like probably like until I was like 16, and it's like he
I would
he
Under Siege 2 is horrible, by the way.
Yeah, well that's the one on a train.
With the satellite they decided not to use special effects and they just aimed the satellite. William, in the film, his file was locked in a safe. They all knew. Okay. Rational.
But it's not his file. He's talking about the manifest for the battleship they're made. It's like it's going to list everybody who's a crew on that ship and what their rank is.
And there's going to be other ways to access that file. Navy headquarters. This guy planned this. He didn't even have access to, he had access to the personnel records on that ship from Navy headquarters. Pacific Fleet. There's places that have those records. That's the captain's office is not just the only place where there's a file in case red. Like
Yeah, so
naval
this isn't like
special ops
this
is
isn't
going
like
to have that file. I mean,
yeah, this isn't like the country bumpkin cops and Rambo like finding out the 11th hour. Oh, by the way, we're doing a manhunt on an ex Green Beret.
they hijacked a battleship. They hijacked a battleship. So if you are going to do that level of planning, you're going to want to know everyone on that boat. You're going to need to know the missile. I mean, the missile. They were launching missiles and cruise missiles. I mean, you're going to need to know every senior person on that show because guess what? They are the leadership. That's how you're going to control the rest of the people if you get them. So no, I mean that goes by their logic. Yeah, that's pretty much what they'll give you. That the people who made that movie. Yeah, he had to file and nobody had to. What? How'd you know where the ship was? How did you know? I mean, there's so many things that when you're sitting there planning to hijack a battleship, you're gonna need to know why. You're gonna need to know who's on your side because some of those people were compromised. So you need to know all this stuff, but you're gonna leave out. You're not gonna scrub that list, everybody, from top to bottom, even if you did it by rank. Guess what? You don't want to. You can't do everybody because the E3 cook is not going to be in your way. On a Navy ship, a chief of anything is going to be. You need to be looking at the E7s. Like, okay, cook. Oh, whoa, seal. Oh, wait. Maybe we need to get him first. The most dangerous thing on the fucking ship, other than the missiles and the guns, you just found out about it after he kills like a lot of your guys. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we need to look into this. Ryback guy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Again, let's say they didn't. They just looked. He's just a lowly cook.
I think I saw that movie in Virginia too with my uncle.
Yeah, well, because
left there, and I'm like, oh man,
looking at like a lot of the like Seagal because I was a little kid when that came out. So like a lot of Seagal and Van Damme there stuff. It's like I got into like when I was in high school. So we're talking about like early 2000s, and again Van Damme he maintained a lot better consistency. The Seagal, it's like he hit his peak, and then he's like he just.
Seagal, listen, Van Damme seems to be a better person, but Seagal.
But I mean, again, Seagal, like he drank his own Kool-Aid and just nose drives. Oh yeah, I remember filming. He actually had the directors on a few years ago for that. Yeah, the Mel Gibson as the Santa Claus movie, Fat Man.
Yeah, I remember watching that. That was when I was like religious. I was always religiously watching it. But now I'm on it. William Snyder liked a post that said digital comic release is better than the sci-fi. Okay, it's an opinion. It's an opinion.
It's just bullshit.
I know it is, but I think people got to understand that people have opinions, and they're not always going to be what's in your skull. You know what I mean? People get. I'm not talking about sports. I'm not in general. I mean, you don't need to go into the uproar if somebody likes something or dislikes something. Let's see. I like the part to Sin City 2 overall. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm watching that show again. That show is kind of depressing, and it's just man, the things that those people do to each other in that show. It's like I don't know if I want a crossover. I don't know if I need a crossover. I'm okay with them. I don't know. Whatever crossovers are part of the game, the potential to fuck it up is really high.
Yeah, I mean he is, Vladimir Putin's best buddy now. So
he lives in Moscow. So.
Yeah. Well, and he's a couple months ago he started because he kind of receded from the action movie world for a bit, and now he's like he
took a Sharpie and put a goatee on his face.
Yeah, and so he's got one. He's finally doing it again now, and there's some people actually I know who are working on it, and people I have a ton of respect for. But I'm just picturing like that set, like they're just it's just a headache just to get him to stand up.
How old is he now?
Okay, Seagal, he's like early 70s.
Yeah, how many action movies is he? He ain't like he's Chuck Norris. He can still do that shit.
Yes, but I was just picturing them like trying. Okay, Seagal, stand here, and then just throw the punch, like, and just like pretend like you're actually
do your elbow bend that you always do,
and we'll do the rest.
Yeah, I've just never been a big fan of.
Well, you said like you're like your equivalent to Seagal, or your this is what Seagal should have been was a Statham.
Basically, if everything had worked out, then that's what he would have been. You know, but he's not. Statham is clearly in every way better than Steven Seagal. So, all right, guys, I think that is we're gonna wrap it up. We really didn't have much to talk about tonight, other than me surviving the great flood of Las Vegas. God damn it! All these fucking water buckets in my store. God, wow, dude.
Have you got that cleaned up?
I have buckets there. I'm going to go in the morning and empty them, but there was really nothing we can do. I'm standing up there with the roofers, and they're hopeless because there's the way the roof has deteriorated. Is it can't be fixed by patching it. It has to be contracted. It has to be taken off, and you know, I'm probably going to have to close half that store to get that done because they're going to have to come through deep because it's an old. They didn't build commercial roofs in 1961 like they do now, and plus, once again, a lot of the expansion and contraction when it comes to the type of roof tiles and roof things that they used to build that was good for a desert that didn't rain like Seattle. And now we've changed, and now you know there's a lot of contraction, a lot of things. They tried to replace some of the stuff that was on there, but it structurally has to be done. So they're already they know that, but you know, it didn't stop me from calling and say, hey, you see this? I got, you know, and they're like, oh, we'll come down and try. But in my heart of hearts, I knew there was nothing they could fucking do. It just pissed me off. I'm starting, like I said, you know, the Nicolas Cage in the movie Leaving Las Vegas. I don't know where I'm going to go, but if I move to a place and the word desert is involved, then flood should not be part of that sentence as far as I'm concerned. All right, this is a damn place. So, all right, guys. Well, tomorrow's what is today's Wednesday right now? It's Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday. I don't know if I'm gonna be on the air tomorrow because not only am I getting ready for Black Friday, I'm swimming out of the store and repairing that because that cost me time too. I not only could I have to fill up water and keep my damage being done. There are certain sections of the store that are part of my Black Friday display that were a waterfall today. So it cost me a couple of days. So I'll probably be doing a couple all-nighters. So I may or may not stream. Who knows? Friday I won't be on anybody's air because I have an obligation, so I will not be on anybody's air Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be doing watching wrestling, but like I said, the streams are going to be a little bit, you know, few and far between. I would, if I got the energy and the time for an hour and a half or so, I'll jump on. But right now, my main focus is on getting the center online and offline because there's a lot of on Black Friday we have Cyber Monday. You have Small Business Saturday, which is pretty big, and you have Cyber Monday, which I'm getting ready for with the discount code. So you'll be able to, and some of the stuff that we have will have free shipping. Some of it will cost you a little bit. Some of it will just be pickup. You know, just some of it's too heavy. There's no way will be worth it. But getting all that kind of stuff ready for the holidays, and hoping that all you fellow small business owners can pull yourself into the black for 2025. And until then, I will see you guys next time I see you. Like, subscribe, do all this.
I'm next.
The word is train. The fucking word is train. Dumbass fourth, fat fingered a word. It's not a word. It's train. Everybody spelled train. 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 You know what a train is? Train is a thing.
Well, trains are very dry.
Thing. Train is something you can get on. There's no such thing as the other thing. Goodbye.